Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Shit Guys Talk About. I was about to say the other topic, but welcome to the Shit Guys Talk About. Got the Manic Genius in the house.
Yo.
Got Phil in the building. And we got my man CLS in here.
Damn,
So before we jump into these topics, man, how's everybody doing?
Blessed. Truly.
All right, no doubt. No
Doing
doubt.
pretty good.
So my man Manic, we see him over there wearing the medium turtleneck.
Medium.
We can see your heartbeat in that joint.
Extra medium.
Extra medium.
Extra medium, yeah.
They said that turtleneck came with a bottle of like baby oil in it. You good, man? Don't be passing out, man, on this live. Talk about you can't get no oxygen and shit, man.
It is feeling hot, but that could just be me.
All right, you start sweating, man. Sweat starts rolling off your forehead, man.
I think I'm melting the screen. You see this? Did you see the shit over
here? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's that turtleneck, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
But nah, we'll go ahead. We'll jump into the first topic and stuff like that. So let me cue this up real quick. I got to pull up the actual list. The list is long as hell. So when I'm going over the list, I'm going to probably stop after like 5 of them. We'll discuss it, see if it lines up, if they're on to something or is it bullshit. So yeah, so just to give you guys some context, like I think the men came out with a list kind of going at the females about the different things that, you know, men should look out for in women, are what type of women you should date. Then it kind of piggyback off the whole Cheesecake Factory one where we broke down the last episode. So women got together and I think they came out with a list of like men who should not be dating. And I thought it was pretty hilarious. And probably in one of the other episodes, we're going to break down the men's list because, you know, that is funny too. So let me go ahead and pull that up. So I think everybody's clapping back and forth, man. Everybody's like, look, I got to get at somebody.
And just no scrubs, no pigeons.
Yeah.
That's all
so
it is.
Just
want me to read it?
TLC and Sporty Thieves all over again. That's all it is. History.
All right. So I'll read some of them. I'll do the first 5. So let me go ahead and run down these. So number 1 that they have on their list is men with toddlers are younger. All right. Number 2, men that live with a mama. Number 3, men that live with a baby mama. 4, DL men. And 5, men that don't have a valid driver's license. So what y'all take so far? Y'all think this is valid or?
I mean, absolutely it's valid.
Yeah.
For the first 5, I'm just like, who the hell would say no to either? I wouldn't do that shit. So I
yeah.
Well, I mean,
men that bank with Cash App.
Men with toddlers.
We gotta get to the.
Yeah. I never even heard.
I will say this. Number 1, maybe a little bit different because you got a lot of dudes out there who do have kids, a lot of females out who do have kids, and I find that like a lot of women will judge a guy off of that and that alone, and not look at their character at all. They're just like, oh, he's got a kid. Nah, that's all for me. So,
but I also see why some women wouldn't want to be down for that because toddlers are a lot of work. So it does take a certain level of commitment. If you're a woman who's like, man, I'm just thinking about myself and like, what can I gain from this situation? Then yeah, that might be a bad thing. But if you're a woman who's like more nurturing and like naturally more caring, then it's just like, hey, you know, a man with a toddler, it might be an opportunity for you to grow in that child's life and, you know, to establish that bond early. So. But I mean, if you're selfish and you're like thinking solely about yourself, then yeah, absolutely. Then yeah, a man with a toddler or a young child is not a good look for you.
Yeah,
because I mean, I kind of agree with everybody's because I think there's like always layers to something. So I think, you know, and I think Phil was hitting on it where it's just like if a female has like smaller kids, then it makes sense for like a man with toddlers and a female with toddlers to line up. But, you know, like me I wouldn't mess with a female with like young toddlers because, you know, I already have my son and stuff. And I just know I don't have the patience level for that. So I don't think it's too much as selfish. I think, you know, depending on that person, it's just like they might not just be at that moment. They might already like raise their kids or something, or they might be somebody that just don't want no kids. So, but also, I do see your point.
If you say, like the younger kids, they're that top 5 they're not with. And if somebody that's in their mid 30s, 40s, they're probably to the point where like I'm either ready to have a kid, I'm cool with you having one, or you know, so
I mean, it's expected. I
can't think of a single person at my age or above that doesn't have a child. If they do, they're a rare breed.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. You just read my mind, because I mean, it depends on the age group that, you know, I guess that person, whoever made this list, referring to. Because most kids past 30, I mean, most men past 30 already have children. Most of them already got kids already. So they should probably just say, okay, I don't want to get involved with someone who has children already, because I want to have children of my own and maybe experience all the first times with whoever they end up start dating.
I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, because I had someone say that to me. She was just like, I don't know. I think she was kind of a dick about it, though. I mean, I think she could have been more polite about how she said it, though. I mean, like, because she was younger than me. She was in her 20s, and she was just like, well, I don't want to be the, because you know I had 2 kids, and she was just like, well, I don't want to be the mother of your second family or some shit like that. I was like, well, damn, all right. You just say that we was in this hotel room last night. So that's why it threw me off. She didn't say none of that stuff. This is like 2 days later. So I was like, why?
I think she kind of should have been a dick. Yeah. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna. No, that's funny.
I didn't think it was funny. It was like, why even hook up and go through all that trouble? You know, doing all this dating stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of build up. We were talking for months.
Yeah.
You know, so why even do all that?
So yeah, I think I think it's probably age appropriate for like the toddlers and younger and stuff like that. Because like, yeah, I did hit a point. This is like after a certain age, like you dealing with somebody with kids, like you messing with a unicorn after like I say like 35. Somebody ain't got no kids. That's rare as hell. So yeah, I think
this rare.
Plus, I think men that have kids, I think women deal with less of burden, because I think sometimes on the flip side, like I think a lot of times where I've talked to guys and they don't want to deal with like kids, it's really like the fathers and stuff, because you know they always be trying to pump people and stuff like that. And I don't think women are like that combative and stuff from what I hear and shit. So I think it's a little bit of a different element. But like Manny said, I can understand that somebody's like, I don't want no part of that. So I think that's legit. The only other one I'll give a little bit of pushback is men that live with their baby, not the baby mom, my bad. Men that live with their mama. Because I mean, I know some people that are like staying with parents and family, you know, if they're saving money for their own house and stuff, they're doing it a different way and stuff. So
that's definitely.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree with you on that. Like, but that's like a case by case basis. Like you have to. I wouldn't say that's like if I met a woman and she was staying with her mom or you know, parents, whatever, I would just find out the situation, like why. Like if it's like, oh yeah, I'm saving up to buy a home. And yeah, that actually makes sense. Then it's just like, okay, well, how much are you able to save with that? Like, you know, it's like, that's actually smart. Because a lot of times, too often, people jump out and get their own place thinking that they're doing something. And, you know, they become, you know, they don't have enough money to be able to put away to save for actual home. So it's a sacrifice. And yeah, during that sacrifice, it does suck. But if you're able to save up that money, it's going to be so much more worth it when you know, can achieve your goals of owning, if that is a goal, so much faster.
Yeah, especially with them rates now, man. What they like 8%? Shit.
Yeah, 8%, bro. That's
it's crazy out there, man.
And you might have some situations where it might be it might be a man or a woman that have like their mother and father just staying with them because they're taking care of them. You know what I mean? Maybe that too. That might be their main caretaker.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but the difference is living with their parents. I think people think that they're living like the parents is paying the bills, not you.
Yeah. So that's the part. Like I think that's one of the ones that, like, definitely you got to add some context, because they might be doing it for the right reasons, but yeah, I feel if they on some bum shit, you know, then that's totally different.
Yeah,
but those last three are very valid. I mean, unless I'll say men that don't have a driver's license. I mean,
New York City is common.
I was just about to say,
they're on a transit. But any place outside of like I'll say where they got like public transportation.
People that don't drive like that at least got a fucking driver's license. They may not drive, but they got one, because they weren't always in a situation at the age of 18 where they just didn't have to drive like that, unless you went directly from college to a situation like Jersey or New York or DC. But that's that doesn't happen that often.
Well, I think he's saying like somebody who was raised in New York City and like never had to like go through that process of a driver's license and stuff like that. People who are like born and raised out there.
Oh yeah, city. Yeah, public transportation
situation is different. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but other than
it's
that,
very rare. Anything other than that, they definitely like there's something wrong. That's a red flag.
Yeah, it's definitely a red flag.
But you've been in the inner city your whole life. I mean, you can buy a car. I mean, it's optional, but you have access to all that public transportation. There's really no need to get a car. Because I know plenty of people who go out and buy a car tomorrow, but they're just like, well, I could take the train and take the bus, metro, whatever.
Yeah, you better get a Vespa. Messing in this. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll go through the next 5, and then we'll pause again. Sorry, 6. Men that bank with cash out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, right.
7. Men that sag they pants. They put they. You definitely notice some ghetto shit.
I seen that shit last night at the gas station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So 8 men that don't take care. 8 men that don't take care of their kids. 9 men that disrespect women, and 10 men that don't own a suit. So we'll pause there.
I've heard women say that before too. He better have at least 2 suits sitting in his closet. At least 2.
At least 2 of them. Yeah.
It makes sense though. It makes sense though. It makes sense.
Some of the most bummiest niggas I know don't own a suit, and they have the most fucking bread. So I don't.
Bummiest?
Some of the bummiest niggas I know, like people that I know from like the military that got out, like they don't wear no damn suits. People that I've known that are in these like government positions, they don't own no suit.
Oh yeah. But what if
but I think in this, a woman will look at that and assume because he doesn't have a suit or that he's like a lower grade type of a dude. But I know a lot of people that don't give a shit about what they got on. They rather spend their money on vacation and education, things that matter.
Oh yeah.
Suits are not that expensive.
But yeah,
I didn't say they were.
Oh.
I thought maybe, I mean, by whoever put that, by them putting that on the list, I thought maybe, okay, well, what if you have to go to like a funeral or just to like I don't know, like an event, like a fancy event, you might have to have a suit for that event. You know what I mean? Or of course, you're going to wear black at a funeral. You know what I mean? You don't have to wear a black suit, but you know what I mean? You want to look presentable.
So, I mean, I don't think that should be on the list because, I mean, I own like so many suits. I think the last time I counted, I had like 12 like complete suits and like a couple jackets and pants. But
so you like Henry Hill and good colors. Yeah, a whole closet full of suits in different colors and multicolored.
Yeah, I actually do. But but that's just that accumulated over time. And when I've had to wear a suit since like 2012, so it's like it's an accumulation thing. And back then suits were much bigger, so it's like half those suits I really wouldn't even wear. I was
got the Steve Harvey joint.
Steve Harvey suit.
I got a couple Steve Harvey suits. Steve Harvey I got a couple of them, and it was so funny watching the transition wearing the boxy suits to you see like the Italian slim cut. I used to see this one dude I'll never forget, man. This dude, I was like, man, why is his suit so tight? That shit looks weird. And this like 3 years later, it's like everybody's wearing suits like that now, including myself. And I'm like, oh yeah, hey man, how you get it tailored to fit like this?
Yeah, dope.
Give me like tailor advice. But I mean, I think wearing a suit really just depends on your job. If you're a blue collar worker and you're working a job, or if you're armed forces or whatnot, like you have other uniforms. So it's like you may not own a suit. And I mean, unless somebody passes, you can even rent a suit because why buy a whole suit when you can just rent it, go to that funeral and just bring it, return it. I know I did that for prom. I rented a suit. I ain't buy a suit.
Oh yeah, tux. Yeah, tux. Yeah.
Yeah, just rented a tux, whatnot, or weddings, whatever.
Yeah, we all did that. Oh yeah.
So I don't think a suit is a disqualifier or should be a disqualifier. I guess we'll just go up. Men that disrespect women, yes, that's a definite disqualifier.
Oh yeah.
Like why would a woman?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why they watch the way you treat your mother or your sister or your aunt or you know what I mean? The women in your family.
Yeah. It's like if you don't have the respect, if your respect is based on gender, then that's a bigger issue. And that's a big red flag. I don't think women should deal with men like that. Men that don't take care of their kids, I don't know if that's not necessarily a disqualifier. Like, I mean, if you're a woman who don't want kids or you're
that's a disqualifier like a more.
It is, bro. It is. Yeah.
But I want to hear this explanation.
So check this out. Check this out.
Continue.
If there's this woman, right? If there's a woman, she's just like selfish, all about her. like a dude that don't take care of his kids, she might like that because she's like, hey, he got kids, but he ain't dealing with them. He's not a part of their lives.
Dude,
like,
what if you was dating a woman right now, right? And she had a son. And you was dating a woman right now and she had a son.
But he did qualify with selfish. He did throw that terminology in there.
Yeah. So if it's a selfish woman, then it's like a dude that has kids that she don't even know about or deal with. That might be ideal for her because she's like, one, he can have kids, you know, if she wants kids in the future. But I think it's an ultimate L if she plans on actually having kids with that person, because he's likely going to treat your kids how he treats the last person's kids. So
Phil was about to go in on you.
Yeah, he was. I saw his face.
yeah. I was too. I was like, dude.
I was like, you don't clarify this shit right now. I'm about to release the Kraken.
Nah, because he followed up, and I was like, okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I saw your face.
But nah, if you're a woman and you just like, hey, I want the dude to be all about me and not worry about like his legacy or any kids and stuff like that, you know, because there's women out there like that.
Well, because even guys, you know, that's the complaint with like even guys when they're like, hey, man, I don't want to mess with a woman with kids because, you know, you move down as a priority. So, I mean, it's valid what you're saying. So, I mean,
yeah, it is.
You just sounded like a little jerkish when you was explaining that first without the qualifier clarification on it.
It's like, hey, man, if you don't take care of your kids, you can find a woman. She's just going to be selfish, because that is a red flag for most people who are willing to make some sort of sacrifice in their life.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to be involved with a woman like that. Like,
absolutely.
If you dated a woman and had like a son with her ex, and he was walking around bummy and just like unkept, and you know what I mean? Like, she just wasn't a good mom. I wouldn't want to date somebody who's just shitty to, you know what I mean? Treated her own blood like that. Nah.
Yeah. If somebody does that to their own seed, then definitely, like Manic was saying, they're gonna do that. It's gonna carry out in every facet of their life. That's supposed to be when you have unconditional love. So it's like, man, you ain't got that for your kids. Like,
you're definitely not gonna love on me.
That's the Tyler Perry shit right there.
Men that sag their pants.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely a red flag.
Yeah.
That's just immature.
It is.
It's immature, and it could be like, I don't know, it might be a number 4 type situation going on.
Yeah, definitely. So men that bank with Cash App, that was funny. I didn't even know you could bank with them.
No,
I didn't know either. I think that's a young thing.
Yeah, it gotta be. I never heard anyone doing that before.
But yeah, that must be like that. What was that Rush preloaded card that you could get? That type of shit. That's some broke shit. So I agree with him on that one.
Yeah, you saw what happened to that, right?
But I do want to jump down to the men that don't own a suit. I do think like I agree with Phil. I do know a lot of people that like, I think they wear like more business casual. They might throw on some khakis and a shirt. But I do think eventually, man, you do got to get a nice suit, man, because you don't know, like, man, you want to step it up, go to like a lounge or something, or, you know, some type of like seminar, you know, just be prepared, man. So definitely get you a suit. Like, you ain't got to kill yourself and get too many of them. But
when you have a black turtleneck that's really tight, that's all you need to go to the club with. You know what I mean? Nothing else.
You might
jokes.
Set in a gold chain. But yeah, no, we'll go ahead and drop. We'll drop down to the next 10. So all right, Manic, you want to start with 11?
Yeah.
Stop at 15 though. After 15.
Oh yeah.
Men that number 11. Men that live in motels.
Extended stay. Extended stay. Yeah, that's the thing out here, bro. That's the thing out here in Atlanta.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
But
my man staying at the Econo Lodge. Nah, you stayed at a motel.
But it depends on his situation, though. If you think about it,
I don't, man. You should never be in this situation.
I want to come back to 11 for real.
Yeah, we're gonna come back. We'll go through the 5, and then we'll circle back.
Men that want to hold a couple dollars till they get paid.
Oh,
that's 12. Yeah. Number 13, men whose clothes are in tubs. 14, men that can't log into anything without help.
Red flag.
Okay.
15, men that got to tell their mama everything.
They're really close. They're close to his mother.
All right, I'm gonna start this one off.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
From the bottom up. You got some men out there that do not have fathers.
Yeah.
Right. And the only person they have in their life is their mom.
Yep.
So I don't give a fuck what nobody says. They can keep that.
That's cold.
For real, when it comes to the can't log anything, that shit, you got to be a real geriatric to not log into some shit. So I get that one.
But hold on, let's go back to 15 because I like what you were saying though, real quick. So men that's kind of like, aren't they slandering themselves? Like, are they revealing something on that one? Because I paused when I first read that. I'm like, men, I got to tell their mama everything. What you're trying to say, like, mama's overpowering. Are y'all gonna be like that too? Whoever made the list,
right?
Like, is that some foreshadowing shit?
That's like Colt on 90 Day Fiance. Remember Colt? He was living
Colty.
Like Colt. Yeah.
She was like Colty. Yeah.
Because his dad wasn't around. I think his dad passed, or he just wasn't in his life. I think his father passed. Yeah, he passed away. So yeah.
So what do you do in that situation? She's all you got. You know what I mean?
That's all he had. His mom. You know.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
I think that might be a red flag, for some women, because some women like come with like a like into a situation trying to like manipulate and try to dictate and control with the whole leverage thing, and it's just like, hey, if his mom's involved, she's gonna be able to see my tricks. So it's just like,
so mom's gonna be able to spot the bullshit. So they're trying to like do that like diversion, have this separation. Like, hey, let me like put a wedge in that because
let me separate, isolate it, so then I can
okay, I got you. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, man, that's awkward to point that out because it makes sense. Mom gonna be like, hey, don't mess with that.
If you acting right, then if he tells his mom something about you, then the mom should be on your side.
No, because that's a good point. Because I remember I'll be talking to my mom. She always be siding with my mom. I was like, man, what y'all talking something? Cut both of y'all off. Gotta leave both of y'all at this point. Shit, y'all the same team. Like, no, that's a good point.
That should be a note point to women who are watching this. Like, hey, if you're smart, you develop that relationship, with the mom, because that could literally save your relationship, and that could actually make or break, your relationship, making it to the next step. Because if a man respects his mother and you're able to foster a good relationship with his mother, then even when you make little mistakes or miscommunications, that's an ally for you. That's going to be in your corner when that dude is like, hey man, mom, this happened, such and such. I'm not going to tell you all the details. And mom's like, I know her. Like, she wouldn't do that, or she loves you, and like she's going to be that extra, support that's going to be able to like, almost like ride for you, especially if she knows if you're a good person and you've been genuine with her. Now, if you ain't shit, then this is going to be a red flag for you.
Yeah. So you saying whoever created this list, they was like, they must have ran into some shit.
No, they might not have been shit. I mean, a lot of this stuff is valid though. Like, I'm not gonna
it is. A lot of it's solid, but I could wait and see how they use the term they when they talking about stuff. I'm like, this one.
So you were saying, Phil, you were saying men that can't log into anything without help.
Yeah, so that one, I'm just like, I mean, you gotta like, I know a bunch of people who aren't like, tech savvy, but you only get a pass if you're like, no, I mean, like for real, you only get a pass if you're like from a foreign country that's never really touched technology like that. And I know a lot of people like that at my job. They're not really tech savvy. So I'm like, okay, you can't really walk in there for that. The closing the tub thing, I don't know what the hell that shit is. That's weird.
Yeah.
Closing
the storage containers.
The storage container. That's perfectly fine. That's not a red flag.
Bro, I don't know why the hell I thought they meant like a bathtub. I'm like,
I thought they meant a bathtub
too. I was like, I was with Phil. I was like, a bathtub. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, them storage tubs.
I want to defend the hotel thing and the tub thing. And here's why I say it. I have a lot of people at my job, right, that live and breathe on deployments. They travel every single 6 months out of the year. So there's no point of them having a house or anything to put to buy anything like that because they're consistently gone.
Great
so
point. Yep.
To be honest,
no goddamn great point.
Yes, it is, bro.
There's a lot of people who they live their life on deployment, dude. So if they got this program at my job where they're gone 8 months out of the year to stack their bread up. They're going to Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, wherever. And they come back for a few months and then they're gone again. So what is the point of putting anything in your home like that to make it look all extravagant for what? Why waste the money if you're not going to be there? There's no point. And then the whole living in tub things, if you say I got like my place has little to nothing in it because I travel so much. I'm barely ever here. So why make my place look extravagant if I'm not going to be here?
But I understand like that's, but y'all, man, you can't be in no Econo Lodge. You could be in one of those like short term places or something. But man, it depends on the motel, man.
All right, but I don't associate like I've seen some motels that were actually really nice, and I've seen some hotels that are nice. But it depends where I'm at. So like for example, when I was in Africa,
that sounds like an oxymoron right there.
There was equivalent to like a Hilton. So it depends on where you are in the world as well.
You was thinking the same thing, CLS, because you was like defending this motel shit.
No, I'm just saying, and as far as like you and I, we have a mutual friend, you know, that's a truck driver. He's doing long hauls, though. He's driving all across the U.S. You know what I mean? There's no point in him getting an apartment and getting a house.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? What's the point? He might as well save his money. He's living in his truck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
But like living in a truck is different.
Yeah, he told me from time to time he does, like when he has like I guess he has to wait for a load. You know what I mean? He might have to wait a day or two. You know what I mean? Because of business hours. He'll get a hotel at a nice, you know, get a room at a nice hotel or something like that. But for the most part, he told me straight up, he was like, there's no point in me, you know, trying to purchase a home or getting an apartment because I'm never going to be home anyway. I'm out on the road like 3 or 4 weeks at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it like a red roof inn. You know, some
yeah.
That's what I'm like. When that motel comes to mind, I'm like thinking that shit. I'm like, all right, because something gonna be nice.
You pay like $100 a day.
If you got a female who says that she lives out of like, you know, hotels, but she explains to you what her job, are you going to be okay with what she does? Like a deployer, a person who's consistently going overseas, would y'all be okay with that?
Yeah. So she's in the military, man.
I'm bougie, dog. My parents used to bathe me in Cristal. I was draped in silk as a baby, so I can't do it. I'm playing.
What was you saying, Manic?
Yeah, silk and a camel.
I was saying it depends on what her job is. If her job is to like constantly deploy all the time, then I would say no to a motel. But if she was, you know, living in a hotel, then that would make sense. It's like, okay, you're doing extended stays at like a hotel, like motel. It's just nasty, bro. Like,
what about a Holiday Inn?
That's nice.
That's
a hotel.
Yeah, they do extended stay, and you pay like about a week or something like that. Yeah.
Phil, hold on. Now, I got a serious question for Phil. Have you ever been in a motel, like in the United States?
Not a goddamn chance.
Exactly.
See, that's what I'm saying. Because I get what y'all saying now. Like, yeah, hotel,
No. You have.
Why you always throwing my man under? But where was he at?
No. Because I'm gonna tell her. When we were
it sounds like you making this shit up now.
Nah, we were like 17, 18. We went to Ocean City.
We stayed in that
nasty motel. Hold on, we stayed in that nasty motel, and guess what happened?
Bed bugs.
Bed bugs.
Oh.
Bed bugs.
Was it near the boardwalk?
It was right near the boardwalk. Right off the boardwalk. Yeah. That was the first and last time I stayed at a motel.
Oh yeah.
You ain't lying. That shit scarred me forever.
Yeah. This was Atlantic City.
No, not Ocean City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say Atlantic City. They don't be doing it like that. Yeah, that's slanderous.
That was some years ago, bro. See, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think at minimum I'm at a Hilton or an Embassy Suites. At minimum.
Okay, see that's different. But yeah, we talk about. I'm talking about red roofing. You know that shit. Yeah, bed bugs included. Like you'd be lucky you don't get no bed bugs. Yeah.
Econo Lodge.
Not Asian.
Shit, they fucking put us in one when I first joined the military. They put us in one, I think.
Oh yeah, they definitely put me in one, but yeah, that was the last time.
That's in Econo Lodge. We was like at the maps and all that. Yeah, they put us in one.
The Econo Lodge is a little nicer depending on where you are, but
Baltimore City.
No,
Baltimore. Yeah. You start getting to the cities. There's a tremendous drop. Like you in the urban, that's probably like the best hotel in that like little town and shit. So
this is right off of Martin Luther King.
Well, there it is right there.
Anything off of Martin Luther King is bad.
It's just such a disgrace.
It is. It's sad. Yeah.
But all right, we'll go ahead. Go if you go through the next 5, Manic.
Okay. I'll let Phil go through that. Can you see it?
Yeah. What do we start at? Where we left off at?
Start 16.
All right. So men that work with the FedEx hub, men that work for temporary service, truck drivers, them grand rising men. Them WYO men.
What does WYO mean?
Y'all gonna have to help me on those.
Yeah, this is where they was just throwing shots. I think in this section, they was just like, "Hey, add these dudes in."
What is Y? What is WYO?
Nah, I didn't even know what that is. I meant to look it up actually before we started, so I could act like I knew. I was like in tune with some slang and shit.
I don't know.
So
The
FedEx, like because you work at FedEx, is a bad.
Oh, it means what you on.
What you on?
I guess this is according to Urban Dictionary.
Oh shit!
This term is used to ask someone if they have plans and if they would like to do an activity or hang out.
Oh, like what time you on? What time?
Yeah, that's valid.
Oh, I get it. Like you're texting somebody like, "What you doing?"
Yeah,
and not actually asking them like on a date or something, right?
I think it's on some more like sexual references, like "yo, what you on" type.
What time you on? That type of shit.
Yeah.
What time are you on? Like what?
Hey, we sound proper as shit, man.
I said according to Urban Dictionary.
Webster has this to say.
Yeah, definitely. They're valid on that one.
Yeah, that's a reference.
Grand Rising Men. Yeah, they definitely looped in.
Valid.
What's the Grand Rising Men?
That's men who are like who on some like, oh, you can't say no because somebody hit me with this one time. The chick was like Grand Rising. I was like, don't hit me with that shit. Don't ever text my phone talking about Grand Rising. Like, it's good morning. You can tell me good morning. I don't want to hear none of this Grand Rising. And she was like, morning is like, sadness. And like, because when you're mourning, I was like, incorrect. Mourning when you're sad, when you mourn is MOURN. That's when you're sad. You're mourning a loss of like someone, a loved one. Mourning, MORNING, is standing alone by itself. Good morning, like waking up. And then she was just like scratching her head. I was like, yeah, don't ever hit me with that Grand Rising shit. Cause that is
so that's what that shit is.
Yeah, they try to make it like some clever stuff, like, oh, mourning is like, you're sad because you're it's a loss. And it's like, nah, it means you don't understand English.
Yeah, it means you don't know how to spell.
Red flag.
Some dumb shit. Yeah.
Red flag.
Looking to be angry type people. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
The man told us that we have to say morning, so it's rising because you're a king. It's like, no, you're a broke ass dude. Like,
yeah, with too much time on your hands, reading into unnecessary shit. Yeah, I agree with him. So yeah, YO Man and Grand Rising definitely valid.
Valid points, ladies.
Now, let me ask you guys this: a temporary service, right? Yeah. Would y'all consider a short contract a temporary service?
Yes.
Yeah. That's not a red flag.
That's not a red flag. That's not a red flag, though.
No,
I think
red flag.
I think truck drivers, temporary service, and men that work in FedEx Hub, I think that's stupid to put on the list.
It is
not red flags.
Yeah, I mean, the more important thing is that the man is able to work and willing to work, because
he has a job.
If you're working at a FedEx Hub, I think that's a job that everybody pretty much can get. I don't think it's like super complicated, but if a man is consistently working there, that means that he's able to, be stable in a sense of like, he can commit to his job. So if you have a problem with his job, then it's possible for him to switch into another lane. It's just a matter of like, if he wants to actually do that, he might like the flexibility, maybe he's trying to, be a rapper or something like that, and he just needs nah, for real.
Why a rapper though? Why a rapper?
or
we remain on the list. No, I'm joking.
I mean, but there's people out here that are really like, man, I really want to be this. This is my goal, and this is in life. So I'm just going to do this type of job to where I'm not like really investing with like training and stuff like that, because there's not too much training you got to have as a FedEx and like certifications or anything like that. So it's like, hey, if he's chasing his dreams, but he understands he has to have like some stability and like, income to, be a responsible adult, then that's not a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Going back to go ahead, CLS.
No, I was just gonna add on to what he was saying. No, he is right though, because like living out here in Atlanta, there's a lot of people who move here to become entertainers. They're singing or doing stand-up comedy and stuff like that. So they work a couple of jobs that are flexible, so they have the flexibility to make auditions and stuff like that. So it makes sense. They might be a waiter here, and they might be a dishwasher at another place, because you know what I mean. So it makes sense. People here are doing that.
Yeah, and work nights at FedEx.
Yeah.
because I think they're like 24/7
Or
probably.
it'd be like working in a warehouse, you know, like I don't know, forklift operator or some shit like that, and then washing dishes in the daytime or some shit. I don't know,
Yeah.
waiter.
Yeah, that's true. That makes
They're
sense.
just getting their hustle on.
He
Yeah.
hustling, yeah, and doing stand up.
I want to go back to that number 17, men that work with for a temporary service. So I like how Phil added a context to that, like contracting and stuff like that. So that definitely makes sense. But I think they might be talking more or less to the guys that have to jump from job to job. Like they might be sweeping like a park in spring, and then next thing they're just finding gig work all the time and stuff like that. So that might be what they're referencing. So
like no consistency, like
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because a temporary job, I mean, that can lead to a permanent position depending on what that temp job is.
Yeah,
they can lead to something permanent,
like an internship. I know a lot of people who intern. It doesn't last forever.
Yeah, I think that shit has a timeline though.
Yeah,
some people be doing that stuff for like 3 to 4 years. Talk about, hey, something's gonna stick. Be like, nah, motherfucker, you. So that's that. What I can see what they're kind of talk about. Like if you with them,
need more clarification on what.
Yeah. You gotta ask some follow up, so that might be valid.
And then how do you know the guy's not doing temporary work until he gets that permanent position that he's waiting for? He could be applying for like multiple jobs while he's just doing temp work to keep him afloat until he gets that permanent spot working for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's like doing that, and you seeing that he's applying and all that, and he's like going out there, and he's just not being, because you have some people too that's like, oh, I'm above this job, this type of work or something like that. It's like, nah, you're not. So if it's something like that, then I think that's where people have the issue.
What if that guy he's trying to get a government position and he's doing temp work in a warehouse until he gets that call, you know what I mean, for the other job, you know what I mean? He's gonna keep doing temp work. Yeah,
I agree with you if that's the scenario, but if he's doing temp work and he's waiting to get at Chick-fil-A, then there's an issue.
Nah, man. Like, what if he work in DC? He's trying to get a government job doing something. You know what I mean? Maybe trying to get a job at the White House or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that definitely that would make sense.
There's men out there like that.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so we stopped at 17. I'll go ahead. I'll do the next 5. So okay, 18. Or do we? Nah.
No, we stopped at 21.
21. Okay, so 21 men with multiple kids and baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely go. 22 men that bash women on social media.
We were just talking about that too.
23 men that have to load their card to add money to it. Yeah, that's 24 men that don't keep their locks up, and 25 men that hairline gone but they keep holding on. So I'll stop right there. We'll start at 21 men with multiple kids and baby mamas. Definitely valid.
People ask me,
super red flag.
People ask me that shit too. They was like, do both of your kids got the same mother? Like, yeah, they got the same mother. It's 2 kids, 1 mother. You thinking I got 2 baby mamas or something? Like, nah, they got the same mom.
Yeah.
They asked that question a lot.
I mean, the only thing I'll give, like, if say like they had a baby mom early, but then they like got into a long relationship and had a kid with that person, that's kind of common. So that I wouldn't gig nobody on that type of thing. But yeah, if they ain't with nobody and they got like 2 to 3 and the longest relationship been like 6 months, yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, red flag, major.
All right, men that bash women on social media, definitely a red flag. Against that, that's corny to me.
Yeah.
All right, 23 men that have to load their card with money. Depending on the age. If they're young, I'll look past it. But you start hitting your 30s and stuff.
Yeah, that's age appropriate. Like you got.
Because he's a broke college student. I mean, like he got like a H&R Block debit card or some shit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, younger kids, it makes sense. They doing everything different now. 24 men that don't keep their locks up.
That's just nasty.
Yeah, dreadlocks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a hygiene thing, though. I'm with them on that.
Because they got dingy locks. You know, somebody got
you got dirty locks.
I do know somebody with the dingy locks, but it's like a whole look. It's like a style.
Nigga, that shit smells like mop water. You know, like that shit.
Yeah, right. Is it like a dirty mop head or one of them dirty mop heads?
Man, what style is that?
The Jay-Z
dirty
style?
Locks.
Nah. Matter of fact, I heard somebody
Jay-Z style.
Jay's only gonna do that.
David and like money and.
I heard somebody say that about y'all. Heard somebody say that about Chief Keef ones. I ain't gonna lie, it was funny. They say like a dirty mop head. That was fucked up, but it's funny.
What Jay-Z?
No, Chief Keef. You know what Chief Keef?
Oh, Chief Keef. Yeah,
Chief Keef look like.
Yeah, I mean, if it's legit dirty, because I mean, there's a difference between like actually having dirty locks and not keeping it up, and having like a a natural, like free growing hair. Cause like, Jay-Z, he lets his hair grow wild and free, whatever. But I mean, he always looks clean. He might have the crazy locks, but he's gonna be dressed appropriate, and he's gonna be, he's not gonna be looking. He's not gonna ever really be looking crazy because he understands. I mean, and he's an icon too, so he can't do whatever the fuck he want.
Yeah, he can get away
with that shit.
But yeah, for most people, you're right. Nah, I take that shit back. Dirty Locks definitely a red flag. He's not Jay-Z. Only Jay-Z.
He was on some Wu-Tang shit. Talk about
that's a red flag.
Shaolin type.
That means he probably doesn't have a respectable job.
Yeah, hygiene, all that.
Hygiene too.
25 men, that hairline gone, but they keep holding on.
25 is funny. So I remember, we was in.
I think there's some grace though. There's some grace for people who are like, right when you're losing your shit. Because
look, this is what I'll say. When people start losing their shit, right? They fuck around and start taking that fucking shit to make it darker, just to like, on the edge. And I'm like, nigga, you're one sweaty day away from your whole day being ruined. So like, it's just cut that shit off, let it go.
Yeah. I'm holding on to my shit. Fuck that. I don't care. I'm trying to get that bald spot at the top where they got the like hair around it, the blowout.
That's all I do.
I'm going all the way in
at the gym. That's all I do like that. The gym is do like that shit.
I seen the dude at I went to my neighbor's high school basketball game. And there was a dude, and it was a grown man. His shit was way back here, and I was like, damn, yo, like his barber really did that to him. Like his barber was like, I got you, brother, and like
he lined him up.
Like I mean, his shit was so far back. I was like, it was just straight forehead. I was just like, hey, yo, no way. Like, and then he had a good amount of hair on his head, like
Stevie Wonder.
Now he had about as much hair.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder braids.
Dang. But Stevie can't see, so he get a pass.
He get a pass, but I'm just saying, we can see. We can see.
Yeah. They do want my man dirty.
Yeah.
Stevie shit was like, last time I seen him was like way back there now.
That's cool because Stevie fucking, man. He got like 10 kids.
Look, Stevie can't see, but he could damn sure feel his head. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
He can feel his head.
Phil, but you ain't giving no passes on 25?
No.
Nah, bro, because like, to be real, I think it's women find more attractiveness in like the confidence. And when you got that shit looking all crazy and everything, and it's too much to fucking upkeep, bro. Like it's nah. I think they should let that shit go, nigga. And if your shit's going, I'm gonna tell you, hey, bro, let that shit. Because I guess it's gonna come time to a point where you're going to get lined up, and that shit's not gonna line up. You're gonna just keep pushing it back. Nah, it becomes less and less attractive. It looks crazy as you get older to fucking to Manic's point. Like, hey, some shit way the fuck back here and be like, oh, you think that shit is cute? Nah, it's not. Cut that shit off, bro.
I think at a certain point, man, you got to Chico DeBarge it, man. You got to go bald out here.
You got to rock a Michael Jordan, man.
But that's what I say there's a grace period. Like, it's like, because, once guys, go bald and they accept the reality, it's like they've accepted the reality. It's not a big deal no more. It's not even a thing. So it's definitely not, it's like, it's not on this list. It doesn't say balding men. It just says men with their hairline, they're trying to hold on to something that's not real. So it's like they're delusional. So it's I think there's a grace period because you have to go from that transition from having hair and having a hairline to like realizing that you don't have it no more and that, bald is your new reality. So I think there's that grace period. So if a man is in that phase, I don't think it's a red flag because he's just in that phase right now.
And you remember how sharp Steve Harvey's hairline used to be, and come to find out that was a hairpiece. His hairline was sharp as a bitch. I was like, oh, that's a hairpiece. Because then he just showed up one day on TV and he was just completely bald.
That's right. I remember.
Bro, I'm gonna say this: I have got more women embracing my shit than I've ever had when I had hair. No gonna cap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at fucking. All you need is muscles at this point. Look at fucking Vin Diesel and The Rock. Them niggas have been bald for like 30 years.
Getting everybody.
Yeah,
I want to see pictures of y'all cats with hair.
Wow.
Phil and CLS. I want with some throwback pics.
I gotta find some
throwback pics. All right.
CLS, you was rocking the Baldy in the military too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd been about 20 something.
Nah, I had hair back then. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You had a Caesar Leo.
You had a Sherman Hemsley.
Okay, had the high and tight and shit on one side and a fade on the other.
Nah, I ain't one of them dudes. Nah, you just try to have you. What was it, Caesar?
I had the chili bowl of the military. They used to do me dirty, man. Them cats couldn't cut no hair around no military installation.
You walking around looking like a bowl of soup.
Facts.
But all right, man. And you read the next the remainder of the list starting at 26.
Man, I feel like CLS needs this one right here.
What was it? Where we at?
Well, no, just read the last of the list. Like,
oh, okay.
You
finish it out. Talk about what they used to. They used to. Oh, what they used to have. I didn't see the word on there. I'm sorry. Now let's talk about what they used to have. 27 was it? Married men, men without transportation, men that are Cowboys fans. I was never Cowboys fans.
That's funny, and I agree with them on that shit. When I saw that, this list is valid.
One of y'all niggas
this was a list.
I swear. It looked Photoshop at the bottom.
Yeah,
that was actually on the list, but it makes sense, man. Because if you know Cowboys fans, man, they are delusional, man. Like y'all too invested in the Cowboys. It happens every year. They lose. It's a depression y'all go through.
What's our record right now, though? Like, we actually,
it ain't all that great.
5-2.
So I couldn't see a woman putting that on the list, bro. Women they don't even.
What's the Jets record?
CLS, you know Cowboys fans, man.
Man, I don't think the Jets are even in the NFL anymore. I think they got kicked out. I think they were like, we're just going to disband the team and we're going to start fresh 2 years from now when we get some more cap because yeah.
Nah, because man, there's like fans and then there's Cowboys, man. Where every year it's just like a cliff, man. And I think enough women went through that pain with you guys where they're just like, yeah, you know what?
I mean, the cool thing about having a winning record right now is the fact that like we're looking down at you so far. You're actually in the water. We're on top of the cliff. We may not be toward the edge, but y'all are down there drowning. Y'all got nothing.
Yeah, so, it's pretty rough, but y'all be hyping, man, because it's the exposure y'all get, the televised games and all that, and then it's just like the cliff. So I think that's what they were trying to capture with that. So yeah, it makes sense at that point.
Nah, they're delusional. That's what that is.
So overall, man, like since we went over the list and broke it down, do y'all think it was pretty valid? Because I heard some guys like giving pushback, and I'm just like, some majority of the list was actually.
I would think about 80% of it was for real valid.
Yeah, that's how I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Say like, 60, 70.
You said 60, 70?
Yeah.
Because we got to, because men have the same requirements when we go out there and we try to find a, potential partner. Same requirements. They want
ours are a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna bring up the guys list like on a different episode. We're gonna break that one down. But I definitely wanted to go over theirs. I thought it was hilarious. But I did think, even though they added some humor to it, a lot of it did hold some truth, like Phil said. I think it was pretty valid. So. Guys, step that shit up. Y'all following them categories. You better get right, or you're gonna be playing the bottom out here whining about it. So, but yeah, I thought this would be a funny take. Since we've been kind of touching on some of these topics, and y'all don't have anything else on this one, we'll go ahead and jump into the next topic. So, give me 1 second. All right, so for the next topic, we're gonna cover down on a Dame Dash recently just came out, and I guess he was doing an interview, and they were asking him about the whole, of course, anytime Dame does a interview with anybody, they're gonna bring up Roc-A-Fella. I think that was like a pivotal part of like hip hop history and stuff, so that's always gonna be attached to him and Jay-Z to some degree. But Dame was kind of saying like he is willing to sit down with Jay-Z if he would kind of take some accountability for what kind of happened, during the breakup. So I kind of wanted to get your guys' take on it, first of all. And do you guys think that he's valid to, make the point that Jay-Z should take some accountability? Because, if Jay-Z's taking some accountability, what he's trying to pretty much say is that he had some fault in the whole breakup. So do you kind of agree with him, or do you think like, hey, I disagree with Dame on this whole situation? You guys all kind of just broke up amicably and, parted ways and moved on and did other business adventures. So I'll go to you first on this, CLS.
He said, do I think they should try to work things out, work out their differences?
No, do you think like Dame is valid asking for Jay-Z to have some accountability on the whole like Roc-A-Fella situation?
Yeah. I mean, it was probably, I think, I don't like, I've never met him before, but I think there was probably some wrongdoing on both ends, and maybe, I guess, I don't, like I said, I don't know all the details. I can only go by like the interviews and the stuff that I read about their relationship and all that. It was probably some wrongdoing on on both ends. You know what I mean? And maybe Jay-Z just didn't want to follow. Maybe he didn't believe in all the decisions that Dame was making. Like in terms of business. Maybe he had his own ideas, and he just wanted to. You know what I mean? Just kind of go out there and explore. Just because he initially, when they started out, Jay-Z was the artist and Dame was the the businessman, and he was the one kind of him, and I guess the other third silent partner was at Bigsburg. They were the one
Biggs.
that kind of put everything together because Jay-Z couldn't get a deal. They shopped his music around. They tried to get him a deal, and nobody would sign him. So they started their own label, to get Jay-Z out there. And I guess I think his purpose at that point was just to focus on just being his art, just being the artist. And Dane was doing all the business stuff, you know what I mean, and helping getting his music out there and stuff. So I don't know. I think as Jay-Z matured, I think his role just changed. You know what I mean? He got older, he got wiser. You know what I mean? He's very very street smart. He's very very business savvy. You know what I mean? He knows how to conduct business well. You know what I mean?
So do you think Dame's a businessman, a good businessman, or?
I think he is. Yeah, I still think he is. I like Dame.
Okay, let me go to Manic on this one.
Well, I'm looking at the statement. It says Dame Dash recently said he's willing to talk with Jay-Z, and I'm confused.
It might be about the I think we were talking about that. What was it? He still has the masters to Jay-Z's first album.
I'm confused on the audacity and using the word willing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm confused. I just looked up Dame Dash's net worth, and it says his net worth is $100,000.
Oh,
so
he doesn't have the money that he used to have.
Well, I work a regular job. My net worth is more than $100,000. So the audacity.
I mean,
like
Dame, I'm not willing to talk to you.
He doesn't have the money he used to have.
Why would Jay-Z want to talk to somebody who had potential to make multi-millions and is now sitting at 100,000, and who's going to sit up there and also share whatever they talk about in interviews and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's just going to bring mess to his household and like anything he's building. Like the audacity of Dame Dash to be like, I'm willing to, like, willing what? You should be begging, putting a
with
plea,
a tin
like,
cup.
Yeah, like, Jay-Z, please talk to me, and we can have a conversation, and I can apologize, and you can give me some solid business advice to figure out my situation. But I mean, honestly, if Jay-Z took that conversation, it most likely would be an L, unless he was like very strategic on how, and I'm sure he would be very strategic on that conversation because he knows whatever is going to be said during that conversation is going to be shared. Or, I mean, Jay-Z and Dame Dash have a relationship. And so Jay-Z knows how he is. So if he's the type of person to be like, yeah, we talked about XYZ, or is he going to be the type of person to be like, we talked about stuff that they never actually talked about, so that he can continue to be relevant and like do interviews and stuff like that and write a memoir. I don't know. But I mean, it just seems like, I guess, more dangerous from Jay-Z's standpoint, just even perception that, hey, they're talking again, they're friends. And it's just like, hey, you're just going to allow somebody to stab you in the back. Because, I mean, Roc-A-Fella was cool. Roc-A-Fella was on top, but Jay-Z's still on top, and he's made way more money since leaving Roc-A-Fella. His branding, he's
made a lot of good investments.
Yeah. Jay-Z's here in your face, and he's still behind the scenes on other stuff. So it's just like he's got so much stuff working, positive going for him and his family. Like, got a beautiful wife, beautiful family. Like, he's the definition of a winner. And it's just like Dame Dash was in that same stratosphere and wasn't able to pick up on that. So it's just like, you can't take everybody with you when you go to certain levels. And Dame Dash is at the $100,000 net worth level, according to, like, I guess, the celebrity net worth. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's unfortunate that he had opportunities to, be into that type of stratosphere. And, he's with the common folk. On like,
so let me ask you something. Let me ask you, because I did ask CLS, who you think is more at fault for the breakup, from your perspective.
Oh, from my perspective, or CLS?
Yeah.
Dude,
No, you, because I asked CLS. He said it's probably both that had like.
Dude,
it's definitely Dame Dash.
It's got to be some wrongdoing on both ends, bro. Come on.
No, it's definitely.
They were close, man. They were real close.
Hey, hear me out, CLS.
All right.
It's definitely 100% Dame Dash.
All right. How so, though? How do you think it's on him? Because Jay-Z got more money than him now?
No. It's because Jay-Z.
That's a hell of an indicator, but
that is an indicator.
But he just made good investments in the last 20 years.
It's about business acumen.
Yeah.
It's like Jay-Z has way better business acumen. So it's just like I've never seen a clip of Jay-Z online throwing a tantrum amongst grown folk adult. I've seen that clip when Dame Dash wasn't invited to, like, I guess a meeting because they're like, hey man, he's too toxic. Like, we're not gonna invite him to this. We just want to have a conversation where we can kind of get our own ideas because he kind of like steals the show and like it has to be my way or the highway. So they were trying to just meet to get together, and he was just like, he comes in there with a camera crew, tossing stuff, showing how crazy he can get, and everybody just sitting there just like they're like, okay, he can't hit us. We're just gonna sit here and just wait this out. But it's just like, you can't conduct business with somebody like that. Could you imagine millions of dollars or billions even like on the line, and you got somebody that you have to deal with that's that emotional?
He used
like
that.
Artists are some of the most emotional people, and that's what allows them to tap into their creativity. However, they are still able to control their emotions and get this bag. Like, they may not know nothing about business, but they understand public perception and understanding how to work with people. Dame Dash clearly does not know how to work with people. So it's just like, who's at fault? It's very evident.
Well, maybe, he's not that person anymore. How do you know he still has the attitude problem and he doesn't work well with others?
I mean, if you hear him talk, he says, you got to be your own boss. You can't work for nobody. Like, come on, man.
I saw those interviews.
Yeah, that's the Dame Dash mentality. And it's just like, it works. It definitely works in certain aspects, but there's other lanes where you may not be cut out to be a boss. And that's not a shot at anybody. It's just that some people are more technical to where they can get in the weeds and they can really thrive in being like the most technical person. Some people are more people oriented to where it's like they can thrive when they're out in the face in the front of things. And then you got some people who are like, they don't have people skills. They're not technical, but they're very good at marketing and business behind the scenes stuff. So it's like, maybe they should make those marketing business decisions behind the scenes. And then you have somebody who can just put it all together and who knows how to get the best out of everybody. Like, those are the people who need to be CEOs, not the super smart technical person that can do everything by himself, because he might be able to create the most great product, but if he can't market it to the right people, that product is not going to sell. So it's just like, you have to learn how to work with others. And it's just like, this is what leadership is. And this is why I'm a leader. And this is why, if anybody has any great ideas,
this ain't the Boy Scouts. Shut up.
Have you
DM me?
I think if I can remember correctly though, have you ever seen the Hard Knock Life tour documentary that they did when they were still together?
It's been a while, but no, I mean, just listening to Dame talk though, like when everyone was together and they would talk. No, he used to say it all the time. He was talking about it sounded like he was talking about cross training everyone. You know what I mean? Instead of just putting everything on one person, he's teaching everybody, saying how to conduct business and how to, make better decisions and all that stuff. Because, if you put a good team together and everyone, and you teach everybody, you cross train everyone, then if one person goes down, it's not going to sink the whole ship. You know what I mean? You're teaching your whole team.
It's good.
He has some solid points, but let me get Phil real quick and we'll circle back to this because that's a good point. But let me get Phil's take on this.
I didn't really have much of one, man. The fact that the nigga is $100,000 as a cap. If I was Jay-Z, I'd bring $100,000 to the meeting, drop it on the table, and go home.
Hey, like, shut up.
How much you worth, nigga? Here you go. There you go. Take care. Have a good day. I'm not having this conversation. Bye.
I feel you.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Jay-Z. Oh yeah.
So I'll go ahead. I'll give my take on this. Yeah, first of all, Jay-Z would be dumb just to even talk to him at this point. I think I'll say 90% of the Roc-A-Fella breakup was due to Dame. And I think Manic was hitting on it. He just didn't know how to play his role. Even though you might be equals as far as a company, you got to sometimes analyze who you are and what your expertise are. And it's just like, you can't be on the scene for everything. So you might be good at some aspects of business, but like, I like what Manic was saying, like the super technical person, you might be the chief technical officer. You know, that's why like companies, man, you have the litigation of like different jobs and stuff where it's just like, hey, COO, CFO, you know, CEO.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know, and I think Dame just was like, at the time, definitely good, but just couldn't adapt. You know, he's like a typewriter. Like at one point, the typewriter was one of the illest inventions out here, but now it's obsolete. And I think he just couldn't adapt his mind to just pick up on where things were going and like networking. Network is probably more critical than even your product. Because it's like Manic was saying, it's like, man, if you can't market it to nobody, then hell, it could be the best thing ever. But if people ain't willing to use it and pick it up and it don't land in the right people's hands, it's pointless. And I think Dame was just so egotistical to the point where he's like, hey, I'm the business person. You know, I could do whatever I want to. And then, you know, it kind of chased everybody away. And then I was just looking at some, it was like a few years ago, like people create patterns. And then over time, you could look at like the patterns they create and see like who the problem is. And he was getting into it with his brothers. He was on that some show. Both his brothers had issues with him. Then he had issues with his kids. He has issues with every other artist that comes in contact with him. You know, personal relationships. So it's just like, okay, man, when 9 or 10 people are saying the same thing, you're the problem. Jay-Z done went, took over some stuff, you know, took his team with him, hit new heights. So obviously, like, he's not the problem. He don't be on interviews like throwing James under the bus, you know, still bringing it up. So you could tell clearly at this point that, you know, Dame was at fault for a lot of this stuff and just can't let go. And I don't know if it's jealousy or whatever, but, you know, and just one more point, because like he owns part of like Jay-Z's, I guess, the masters for Reasonable Doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, like that'd be like if you are Manic, you know, you guys are rapping and stuff. We own a company. If I was truly like your brother and stuff like that, friend, I'm going to make sure that you guys have the ownership of your first record. That wouldn't even been a thing. You should have had that years ago. So the fact that you're trying to sell them to me it shows what type of character you have, that you're even having that conversation. You're like Manny said, you're probably close to broke if you're sitting there like, oh, you got to buy this off of me. Your first album, come on, man. So the fact that he wouldn't even like, that should have been given to Jay-Z at like day one, like all those parts after they got rich, because they all left the company with like millions of dollars. They all sold it. So it's like, if you made bad decisions in your life, man, that ain't Jay-Z's fault. Like, get over that shit. You know, he'd be all on that culture vulture nonsense, like trying to blame the industry, but he wasn't turning down none of them checks when they was like lining up, giving them out. So it's like now he's just trying to attach to like any like victim mentality type stuff and trying to throw people under the bus just because he don't want to accept the fact that he just made bad decisions and he couldn't adapt. So
I see what you guys are talking about now. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Maybe as Jay-Z got older, maybe, you know, he got older and wiser. Maybe he just saw something that Dame didn't see, and that's why he jumped ship.
He saw Dame. He was like, man, he going in these offices and causing trouble. Like, man, you can't grow doing that. So he's just like, look, man, let's just sell this. We'll move on. Hey, it was a nice little run.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my money over here. I don't have issues with nobody. And he exploded, you know?
Well, yeah, he saw opportunities. You know what I'm saying? He saw a lot of opportunities. And maybe he wanted to conduct business with people that Dame didn't want to get involved with. You know?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
That's he was just like, I'm not dealing with that person. I'm not dealing with this person. You know what I mean? But maybe Jay was open. He was like, well, I don't have a problem with any of these people, you know?
Yeah, and I mean that's like with any company, with any company, with any job. If you have somebody that's unwilling to work with people and you're missing out on opportunities, you have a choice. You can either continue to miss out on opportunities and be left behind, or you can remove that toxic person and, you know, grow your business and grow your brand. And I just looked at Jay-Z's net worth according to marketrealist.com.
It's like 2 billion,
2.5 billion approximately.
Yeah.
2.5 billion.
He made some good investments, yo. It started with the liquor though. That's what started it. What kickstarted all that, the liquor, and then what was it? Then he had that
Tidal.
Roc Nation title, and then what was the other one?
Roc Nation is winning.
Roc Nation, and he started like managing athletes and all that stuff. Like, yeah, he's.
But I mean, he just a master at networking, and he's one of them type of people, man. And so he's so secure in himself. Like, I don't have to be the forefront of everything. Like, hey, pulling this person, like him and even Jim Jones, like is kind of attached to it. So he was like willing to let stuff go, where Dame is just harboring on. So, if he takes accountability, I'll talk with him. Like, man, they said like the audacity, man, this dude's 2.5 billion, man. You know how much time he's worth now, like just to sit down and chop it up with him, man. Like people are paying, like I was looking at something, what, $500,000 for a lunch just to sit down with this guy and stuff like that. You know, Dave talk about you accountability to come talk, man. Like Phil said, I'll come there and dump money on your head. Like, man, if you don't dump the bag on you.
At one point in time, Dame Dash had over $50 million.
Yeah, he was balling at one time. Like I said, he was a good businessman for that time. You know, it needed to be rugged, but he just couldn't adapt, and he was just so egotistical, man, and that was the issue.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't realize how young he is.
Yeah, he's young.
How young he is?
Dame is young, bro.
What do you mean young?
He was born in 71.
Man, I'm 44. They older than me. They in their 50s, bro. They ain't that young. Like, they ain't old, but these brothers ain't
71 though. That's not that long ago.
He's about to be 54 in December, like December 4th.
Yeah, but they were around the same. That's what I'm saying. They in their 50s. They shit.
Yeah, he's like 1 year away from that senior discount at IHOP.
But do y'all think, like, overall, do y'all think like Dame is a little jealous? Do y'all think that's what's playing out, or?
Yeah.
Too many things didn't work in his favor, you know.
Yeah, because that would suck, man. You made all the moves, and then this cat just, I mean, because think about it, billionaire status. Like, to come from like Marcy Projects to like, were you a billionaire like that? Like, I could see if he probably made like 100 million, you could probably like talk some shit, but a billionaire, like, that's some, like, you know business, like Manny said. You can't fake that. Like, most people ain't getting in that realm anyways.
And all his homeboys, everybody that's still close to him now, they're saying they all hit the friendship lottery. like Tata, Memphis Bleak, and all them, they did the friendship lottery.
Yeah,
but I mean, he be putting them in the right place. Like they be like they be working, man. That whole squad be like putting that work. But like the good thing, like even Bleak, I was listening to his interview where he was just talking about like Jay-Z is not gonna like accept like failure from anybody. He's gonna be like, hey man, like you need to do this. You gotta. So he definitely grooms people and stuff like that. I don't think that's talked about enough. I know Bleak be speaking about it, but putting people in the right positions and stuff. So
they didn't have his hustle though. They didn't have Jay-Z's hustle though.
Like, I think they do, but just certain things just can't be replicated. And I think like they were good at like understanding their roles, like Bleak and all them, and Tata, Beehive. They just like understood like, hey, I'm gonna play this position, do it well, kind of like even like LeBron, Maverick, and his squad. Like certain people's just like, hey, I don't need to be out front. I don't need to be the face of the party. I don't need to try to outshine my man. I just need to make sure he's straight, and I need to do my role. And I think Dame couldn't do it, man. Like, and that was the issue. Because I think even I saw like a thing where Irv was even trying to like put him onto some work, but Irv said he like came into the thing and tried to change everything. So Irv was like, yo, man, I need you to do it like I told you. Oh man, I gotta have creative like direction, what I do stuff. And Irv was like, man, damn that. So it's just like he can't work with people, man.
He can't work well with others.
He's gotta be, like Manic said, he's gotta try to be the boss of everything. And if he can't, and then it's just such a terrible mentality, because it's just like, man, there's nothing wrong with working for somebody. I know that's some people think that's some punk stuff, but it's like, man, y'all know who Steve Ballmer is, the owner of the Clippers. This dude is like worth over $100 billion by working for, Microsoft and stuff. So he wasn't the overarching boss. He had to answer to people, but you think he's upset when he's on a yacht? With $100 billion, like Tim Cook from Apple, you think they're like, oh man, I can't believe I worked for somebody else, like with their billions of dollars and shit. So yeah, it's just like, I think sometimes people got to change that mindset, man. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's like,
man,
like
would you rather? Would you rather? You said
go ahead.
Steve Ballmer.
Steve Ballmer, yeah, he's like, I think top 20 in Forbes list. I was just looking at it the other day, and I was like, damn, that dude.
He's number 9.
Yeah, number 9. That's what I'm saying. He said that.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
But he was
his network is it's 115 billion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But was an employee majority of his life, worked for Microsoft.
I'm gonna see y'all next week.
All right, Phil.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
I would definitely rather be an employee and pull in 115 billion than be a CEO pulling in, 300,000.
Yeah.
I own my own stuff. Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, you had some good points.
Yeah, because I see what you're saying. Like, definitely in them early, man, he was like pivotal for Roc-A-Fella, and I know Jay-Z even said that. And it's just like, definitely like you said, even try to cross train people. So he was like on the spearhead, like had some good qualities, but it was just, man, he could not work with a lot of people and stuff. I think, man, he had too much of the street mentality where it was effective getting in the door, but it was like, then you do got to transition, man, eventually and start understanding the business. But like, hey, man, like we do got to work with people. Like I might not like this. If they ain't doing no like fraud type stuff, then it's just like, hey, man, we got to work with him in this capacity and stuff. But he was just like boxing everybody in where I think they were like, man, look, we're only going to be like this big if we stay with this guy and sabotage all these relationships. That's not gonna last that long. So it's kind of like, I think sometimes people like that like force people to like, jump ship somewhat. And I think Dame just can't see it. He's just refusing to like take accountability on his end.
Yeah. And maybe he didn't want to change his you said change his mentality, like his way of thinking.
Yeah, because at first I was feeling, I did feel kind of bad for him. So I kind of had the mindset was like, oh, well, Dame did this. But when I saw this stuff where he was getting into it with his brother, his kids, and it's like everybody saying the same thing. It's like, dude, like you got to like when your old kids is like saying stuff about you and your brothers, is like you can only like dodge that stuff for so long, man. Like, and this is all on like you go on YouTube, you can see all them clips. Him getting into it with his own family, immediate family. So it's just like, shit, you can't get along with them, then damn. He look
like he's pretty close to his two oldest kids, his oldest son and his oldest daughter. You remember, back when they were producing all those films, he used to put them in the movies and all that when they were younger. You remember?
Yeah.
His daughter and his son. Yeah, I used to see him in the movies. They can go on. I've seen their IGs now too. It seems like, it seems like they're all pretty close. The oldest kids. I don't know.
No, definitely, man. He looks like a good father and stuff. Yeah, he just, man, I think he's so bitter about like the Roc-A-Fella stuff where he just can't let it go. And I do understand, like, people are always like asking him about it. So I know that's got to suck too. But it's like, you don't have to entertain it, Dame. It's just like, man, let that, like, look, man, I'm over that. Not answering more. I wish the best, but he always like has to throw that shot. And that's where, it's kind of keeping him somewhat relevant, but it's like for the wrong reasons and stuff. But if y'all had to give like Dame some advice, man, what would y'all like kind of say to him? And I'll go to you first, Manic.
I would just say he needs to first come out, first and foremost, apologize. Because it's I'm not even trying to be funny. It's like it takes a bigger person to apologize, for the wrongdoings. And I it just goes without saying, just with his character, there's at least got to be some shade he's throwing at Jay-Z, whatever. Apologize for that. And then not even, and it has to be like authentic. So, I mean, it may happen, it may never happen, but somebody who's too proud to admit that they're wrong, they don't need to be around anybody. So I think he needs to first apologize for the situation, and his role in the attention that was causing their friendship, whatnot. And then also apologize for the tension caused in their business partnership. And then I think possibly he can move forward with, I don't want to say have a conversation with Jay-Z, because I mean, he really serves no purpose to have a conversation with Jay-Z.
He says,
I mean, it would be cool for them to fix that relationship, though.
But I mean, would it really though? Because what would it serve for Jay-Z? Like,
I see what you're saying.
Like mutually, it's not mutually.
It's not beneficial. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not beneficial for Jay-Z at all. Other than like, he can sleep better at night, but I think he's sleeping really well when you.
Me too. Yeah, I think
making $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Egyptian cotton right now.
It's not even Egyptian cotton. He's got that shit that the aliens have, like that we're not supposed to know about. He got that type of money.
No, but I mean, I think it would be good for hip hop because, man, like I said, man, they like a cornerstone, man. They a part of that history. I mean, it would be nice, but
too much history.
Yeah, I would love to see it go, but just to kind of piggyback what I was at, I'll go ahead and get CLS's first. Like, what would you say to Dame in this case? You got to give him some advice over this.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
that's your man's.
He has to be. I guess he have to be more open minded and I mean, try working with others. You know what I mean? Listen to their ideas and see if you guys can work something out together. You know?
Yeah. If I had to give him some advice, I'd be like, Dame, first of all, you need to just take accountability. Stop worrying about another grown man. Like that's where it should start. Even like if you feel somebody did wrong, it's just like either you could get past it or you can't and just move on. Like I would never speak on it. I don't care how many mics people put in my mouth. Like if I had a blowout with you guys, nobody would ever known that I had a blowout. Yeah, pause, whatever. But they would never know any information. I'd be like, I would have never talked about it. I'd be like, look, man, we just went our separate ways. We all made money, man. I would have gave that whole spill like Roc-A-Fella, we did great, but we moved on. And that would have been the last you would have heard of me. I would have been too boring for people to even put a microphone in my face, They wouldn't be like, yeah, he ain't gonna give no details. So I wouldn't handle it like that. Like Biggs Burke, he's the prototype. He don't just say nothing. He just he mind his business. So I think that route. And then I would give Jay-Z his masters back, man. Like I don't understand why he never had that in the first place for his first album. Like don't get me wrong, I understand it's all business, but like I said, if y'all both had an album, man, I would have made sure like, hey, here's your album, man. I made sure I went out my way to get that for you. And then it probably would have been a whole totally different situation because y'all would have saw like, man, this dude is in my background. So I just think he missed a lot of opportunities and stuff, like always focusing on himself.
But do you not think that was strategic for him to get the masters and like have control of it? Because he's like thinking like, oh, if you think you're gonna leave me, that's okay. I got your masters. But
absolutely.
But somebody else who did the same thing though. Because I would remember seeing it on I guess the news a few years back. Taylor Swift. The first label that she signed to, the owner of that label did the same shady shit to her. And you know what she did? She clapped back. She was just like, all right, well, all she did was just I think she went back in the studio and just re-recorded all of those songs. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. That's clever.
All of those songs or whatever. And then she told all of her fans not to buy her old music. Don't even buy the old music. Put money in his pocket.
Those Swifties are militant, boy. They don't make mess around. Taylor Swift, I'm trying to get into Swifties.
Just like the Beehive, yo. If Beyonce go on like Twitter or like Instagram,
they don't mess around. I'm trying to get in both. I'm getting in all these power groups. You might catch me.
Yeah, that's smart.
Next live, I might come on with a Taylor Swift shirt on while y'all messing, and then Beehive.
She was like, "Don't buy my old music. Just buy my new shit."
But you could tell when like Jay-Z be talking, man. He just wants those masters for the first album. Like he was like, man, I don't care about the other ones. They're priceless to him and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, the fact that your man ain't have his like first album and everybody was rich, he should have had that stuff off the rip. Being the owner of the company too, that shit should have been gifted to him a long time ago. So like I kind of agree with Manic. Like I think he held on to that, like, man, I might get pushed out the situation.
But that's what.
But for him to always be talking that stay on code shit, and your man don't got his masters, like you're phony. And I know a lot of people buying the Dame shit because I be hearing the arguments where they're always like, well, Dame has some man. Nah, I could read between that. Like if your man don't got his like creative rights and stuff like that, you something ain't right with you.
But then you see that movie, Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Is that the one with like
with Frankie Lyman? Remember Lorenz Tate was Frankie Lyman? And teenagers or whatever. And what was that like back in like the 50s and the 60s? They said back then those were shady business practices that a lot of labels, they were all doing that shit. They would just slap their name on like, and get like songwriters credits so that way they can collect royalties on like songs and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
it might be shady and it might have been like the norm.
Yeah,
just because it's shady in the norm doesn't mean you have to do it.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I agree. You shouldn't do shit like that. But that's what they did back then. It's fucked up.
Man, I can understand business record companies doing it to a certain degree because this is like, hey, they got to get paid at the end of the day. So but like the whole Dame Dash situation, it's like, man, y'all kind of came up in the industry with each other. So just how I would operate, you know what I'm saying? If we were all like flush with cash, we're making money, I would have probably went out my way to make sure like you would have got your first album just as a collector's item or memorabilia for you and stuff like that. Cause I know, how that album would hit for you. I would have made sure you would have got that back. So that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that he's still like holding on to it, trying to make him pay like triple the amount of money and stuff like that. It's just like, people just don't see between all that. And I'm just like, man, this dude is shady as hell. You know, I'm sorry.
I thought that was the thing they were going to talk about though.
But why? It's like, man, it should be just given. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Because I mean, as far as like the money, it's just like Jay-Z he's good with cash. But if you're sitting there like, hey, you need to buy this back from me, and it's your first album, and you're talking about how stand-up you are, you're not a stand-up person, man. Bottom line, like,
and I think it's more principle, because Jay-Z could buy that masters back from whatever price, and it wouldn't even it probably wouldn't even be a drop to him. But it's just principle.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I'm not about to reward this bad behavior, right? And especially like you, somebody like I knew and like was in the trenches with, like the disrespect to think that you can like, you know, do this to someone like me. Like, nah. Jay-Z probably, I don't know if Jay-Z even speaks on Dame Dash, but if I was Jay-Z,
he don't, man.
Nah, he don't. I never heard him mention.
I wouldn't even acknowledge that he's a person, is alive. Yeah. It's like no point. It's just there's nothing positive to say about a situation like that.
The rest of them, they mention them. They talk about them. Like I saw, what was it? Drink Champs. I saw Beans and Memphis Bleak on Drink Champs, and they've
been on there. They'll talk a little bit.
Kanye talked about him a little bit.
And, ask the questions about Dame, because you know him and Kanye were close too. Dame and Kanye were real close.
Yeah, no, Kanye even said on Drink Champs, he was like, man, if Dame needs anything, he knows he can call me.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah,
AKA code for like, hey man, I'm probably funding this guy's lifestyle. I'm one of the artists funding, you know, when he runs into trouble, he does call me and I give him some money because I got a lot of it.
No, I think Dame would try to get it on his own. Man, he's just a stubborn, hard-headed dude, man, and he's willing to go down on that, man. Like,
he ain't gonna beg for it. He ain't gonna be.
Yeah, he won't. I don't see him ever trying to beg.
Nah,
but I mean, but you went from 50 million to 100,000. Like that's your net worth. So it's just like, how do you
Uncle Sam be like Pac-Man on that joint?
But how do you maintain your lifestyle and your appearance? Because after a certain amount of money, you have an appearance and an image and brand to maintain. So it's just like, do I think that he probably ain't hit up Kanye like, oh man, you know, it's just a little hard, man. I just got hit with this, boom, boom, boom. And Kanye like, hey, don't even worry about it, big dog. I got you. Like, boom. It's like nothing. So it's just like the fact that Kanye mentioned it is like enough to say, like, to read in between the lines, like, hey, it has happened before. I'm not gonna say how much or speculate how much, but the fact he says, oh, dang, you know, he knows he can call on me. Like
but that's only gonna. I think that sounds good. I think it will only last because I mean, most people, like I said, will be willing to work in some capacity. Like, hey, man, he is like taking care of me in some sense, but like, let me like do some like duty or some like job function or something. And I don't think he's willing to do that. So I think even like, you know, people like that ain't willing to like take care of a grown man. That's what I'm saying. It'll run its course eventually, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
He ain't begging for nothing, man. He ain't gonna be able to keep sweat shit. He ain't begging. He ain't begging for shit.
Well, what's Kanye? He's still a billionaire, or is he up there?
I think he is. His net worth,
Nah, I know some of them deals was going through though, where he was. I mean, still wealthy as hell, but
he just lost. Was it the deal with Adidas?
Oh, here it is. This is what Kanye said. Don't ever speak. Ye said this in reference to Dame. He said, Ye said that the record industry executive should refrain from speaking about his and Dame's relationship. Don't ever speak on our situation of me taking care of the man who put me on. Mm-hmm. Taking care of the man who put me on. I don't know how else you can take care of somebody, a grown adult, a grown man, unless you're giving him some bread.
Yeah, I just don't see Dame doing it. I'll give him that. Like, but yeah, maybe times is rough. Dame might be out here eating brown rice and spam and shit.
I mean, he's got some stuff going on, but it's like I think it's mostly just like interviews and stuff like that.
But like Kanye's, I was looking at it. He dropped down to like 400 million. I mean, still wealthy as hell, but
still wealthy.
They ain't in Jay territory. That's why I'm like, Jay just flexing on him. Jay stun on these dudes, man. Mm-hmm. Jay too humble, man. I would have been like, look, you want to talk to me? You want me to take accountability?
But it's
just I would have had like 20 watches on my arms.
Yeah, but I
20 watches.
think Jay has so much more that he's just like, it's not even necessary. I think his biggest flex is that he's not trying to flex. It's just
That's
a flex, just him walking by and him acting like nothing bothers him. That's the big flex.
I just want Jay to get on that Brooklyn shit a little bit.
Oh,
but like you said, it makes sense, man. Like when you hit that out, man, two something billion, like
yeah.
Damn.
Like coming from where he came from and his environment and circumstances, like, yeah, they're not even in his rear view. It's like,
yeah, they on some, he on some totally different thing, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why, like that was just hilarious thing. Like, hey, if he takes accountability, I'll talk with him. Jay, like,
I think Dame Dash was projecting.
Yeah, I think it was one of those shots. Like, please talk to me. Like,
yeah.
Jay just probably looked at that and laughed while he was on a yacht, eating caviar and shit.
How
Come scoop me up, Jay.
Yeah, how Jay-Z laughed. CLS, I know you did the Jay-Z impression.
Yeah, leave CLS behind. He on that bullshit.
Yeah, let's hear the Jay-Z laugh, CLS. I know you got it.
Yeah. Go ahead, hit us with a Jay-Z voice.
The Jay-Z laugh. He said his fool's crazy. He said he's crazy. He doesn't want to talk to me. Let's fuck it around.
But no, I think it was definitely a good topic, man. I wanted to hit that for a while now, so I'm glad y'all was able to jump in on that. Because like I said, man, it is history and stuff. I hope Dame does get it together. I do hope he lands in a lucrative spot. You know, I just think he got to make them changes. What was you saying, man?
I was gonna say Dame Dash definitely a smart guy. Like, I don't think it's a matter of definitely not a matter of intellect or capability. I think it's just personality, and he could probably be a bit abrasive.
Just with pride.
Yeah, very, very prideful. But I mean, that pride is probably what took him to in the room of Jay-Z and took Roc-A-Fella to that next level. So it's just that it just couldn't go to that next level with him. So I mean, that's just everything in life. Sometimes things grow faster than you do. So it was a good run while it was. He touched 50 million at one point. So big shout outs to him. Coming from his environment as well. So definitely not nothing to mock or laugh about. Shit, I ain't never touched no 50 million. I ain't never seen
it's a lot of
bands like that. So
yeah, it's just you got to make that pivot, man. That's the thing, and it's just like the whole mentality. Like, I can't never work for nobody. It's like I get it to a certain degree. Like, there's levels to everything, but it's just like, man, if you got a good opportunity, it's making good money, it's gonna put your family. It's like, man, don't ever take that stance. You do what's best for the overarching, mission for your family and stuff. And I think that's where people sometimes get it trapped in their head, where it's just like, hey, I was over here before, and that's why I said it's like kind of foolish pride, where it's just like I can't step back from that role and play this lane to get a better, I say opportunity in life. And I think that sometimes people, when they did have that success early, it's just like they kind of get stuck in that mindset, whereas they can't ever pivot. It just holds them back, where it's just like, hey, you might be the CEO in this opportunity, but if you get another opportunity, you might be a director or COO or some shit like that, and you shouldn't look down on yourself because you're not the CEO or the head of everything. So I just think people just got to learn how to adapt, man, and take them opportunities where they are, learn how to be a positive on any situation versus people looking at you like, damn, man, I don't know if I can bring this person because they're gonna cuss everybody out, they're gonna be abrasive like you were saying and stuff like that. So yeah, no, absolutely, definitely some good takeaways on that. But all right, man, we'll go ahead and start closing this out. But I did want to ask y'all, man, when y'all gonna we're gonna do part 2 on y'all, I'll say, I'm not gonna say battle because people take that word too goddamn serious and stuff. But y'all, we're gonna say challenge, man, because me and CLS was getting cussed out last time. Y'all said battle. It's like, we ain't gonna say battle. So when y'all want to do this challenge, man, how much time y'all need and when we gonna?
I think CLS retired me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, you're done.
He destroyed me.
Okay.
I don't know. According to your fans, you won. I lost. I took the L.
So we still look at November, which I need December time frame, man. Like, get y'all beats. It's gonna be your own beats that you select. Y'all make your own track.
I'm not gonna put,
huh?
I'll make a
Okay,
track.
yeah, so we'll do that. So y'all pick your own beats.
Yeah, you can make a song.
Yeah, let me know, and then y'all put the song together, and then we'll go ahead review them like last time.
I think though that there should be like some topic or something, because this way there could be like a measurement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just it's like if we just like, oh, just make a good song. It's just like, oh, you might make a song that, you know, talks about this. I make a song that talks about that, and it's just like, it's a pretty good song. But if you're like, hey, make a good song talking about this.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like there's another metric to, like, you know, relativity, and like, oh, okay, yeah, like, so that'll be like a good judgment.
Okay, oh, that's interesting. I have to think that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Or y'all give me some topics y'all want to talk about it. We'll decide from that.
How about we talk about the importance of drinking water and working out consistently?
Nah, y'all both lies on that one.
Make no song about drinking no damn. I mean, matter of fact, no. Hold up. Mos Def already did that.
Oh, he did.
Mos Def. I think Mos Def has a song where he was rapping about water. Yeah, or clean water.
Is that kind of what got him out of the game?
I think
he made that track. Like, I ain't heard from him in a while.
I gotta Google it. Nah, it's like one of his older albums though.
Yeah, no.
But I think he was talking about, because you know, like you go to some countries and they don't have like clean drinking water. I think it was on the lines of that. That's what I think.
Some like UNICEF type shit.
Yeah, some deep shit.
We Are the World type record.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear that flamboyant Playboy shit. That might be the topic.
Or do you mean like something similar, like oh yeah, matter of fact, all three of them did it, but I think Pac did it first, where it was like he made that song "Me and My Girlfriend" and he used the gun reference. He was talking about being a gun. Well, he was rapping from the perspective of a gun. Remember?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Nas did a song called "I Gave You Power." He did the exact same thing. "I Gave you power." You remember that song?
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure this out, man. I kind of want y'all selling a kilo in y'all rap. So I might go that route, man. Yeah, I said I could pick the topic. I want y'all on some Pusha T shit.
He was talking about being a gun. That was dope.
I need a brick soul. Like, y'all need to be kingpins in this like next battle. Yeah, we might have to go that route.
Me drug kingpins.
I might need y'all on some like Pablo Escobar type shit.
Cap rap.
It's like, hey, flipping birds.
Yeah. I'm out here catching bodies, homies, and you catch all of it.
You catching bodies like Drake. With the turtleneck on, everything, catching bodies.
Got the turtleneck on, all black. With like G Money from New Jack City and shit.
You do. You do like G Money, yo. He likes it.
My man, G Money.
He likes it too. He said all he gotta do is
because then he had that black turtleneck on when he wiped the knife on him with the blood when he stabbed my man in it. I'll be sure.
Yeah, whenever sitting at
that
he's
table. Like, he wiped it on like G Money shirt.
He did. That's when he stabbed. Was it Christopher Williams?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Christopher. I always get them confused.
He was the singer. He was the singer Christopher Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah, he looked just like Albie Shore though.
He did.
Because he did make the reference. He called him Albie Shore in the movie.
I used to get those two mixed up all the time. They're both light skin, you know. So I used to get them both mixed up all the time.
Yeah, we was winning for a little segment. That was like Ice-T and all the.
Yeah, he just the only thing he missing, he just need like a plate of Italian food and have like the napkin tucked in his shirt.
Yeah. He got to get the gold chain and
the napkin in here.
The gold chain and the crack pipe. Like if he get.
He looked like you do that too. Like you tuck your napkin in your shirt. In restaurants, he looked like you do that.
Yeah,
I look like I
said he the type of man that drink like a canned soda with a straw.
You look like you do that. You probably be doing that shit too.
Hell yeah, I'll be doing it. That's how I do.
No, you look like you were fucking eat a burger with a knife and fork. With a spork.
Which one's G Money?
Like a spoon with the
light skin one.
Alan Payne. It was Alan
Payne. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know who Wesley Snipes is.
Yeah. Not Wesley Snipes.
You're not gonna get them.
You ain't never seen New Jack City?
The one not Wesley Snipes.
You're not gonna get him mixed up with him. I promise.
Hey man, you ain't never saw New Jack City?
I've seen New Jack City. I see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was probably like a long time ago, though, right? You saw it a long time ago.
Yeah, that's classic right there.
Yeah, it's a great movie, though.
We might have to do that movie review soon. Some of those throwbacks.
It's a great film, bro. It's a great.
Yeah, film. I could watch that. Like I watched that probably like over 100 times easily.
Yeah, great movie, man. Great movie. It really was.
Look at him. He looking over there cheesing.
I'm looking at G Money. I'm like,
yeah, it's the scene where they was at the table, man, and he stabbed a man in the hand, and then he was like, he wiped the blood on him. He was rocking a turtleneck.
Were you looking for the image when they were sitting at the table? Because that's when he, that's when he lost. That's when he was upset because they lost to Carter. Remember?
Yeah, you remember he had the pit bull and stuff. Oh, they had the pit bulls in there.
Because Chris Rock was like one of his. He was like one of his. Like his biggest crackheads, his biggest fiends.
Yeah, that was a little scene, man. That was.
That's when he started wearing the wire, and that's what. Yeah, he went undercover.
But all right, we'll go ahead and close this out, man. All right, Manic Genius, any parting words, and where can we find you at?
That list was pretty accurate with the women. I would say like 70% accurate on the red flags. So yeah, rewind it back, watch it over. You'll find me on the Manic Sophistication channel. Obviously, my IG is clearly right here. But
all right,
that's about it.
CLS, parting words, and where can we find you at?
I guess I don't know, man. That's what it is. You so you can find me on on IG, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, this is CLS. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, any part of words, just
I feel you.
Just come on back. Watch the show.
Yeah, definitely keep tuning in, man. Like I know your YouTube channel. I got everything like tagged to the main channel and stuff. So check that out. Check out the other shows, and thanks for everybody that been sending me like content they want us to break down. So somebody actually sent me this list. They wanted us to go over it. So I thought it was pretty funny, and I heard other people going over it. So we all have I think one good thing about our show, somebody mentioned it too, is like we have our own different kind of style and stuff like that. So when we break down stuff, I think people like that. We're a lot pretty biased, and like even like they said on the list, like we don't be going in on women like that. We ain't all pissed off and shit. So definitely we have our own takes and stuff. So yeah, just thank you for sending this information, and yeah, just keep tuning in, and we'll keep on delivering this heat. So all right, but peace.